Folks, it has been 5 days since the Yankees lost in the playoffs to the Boston Red Sox, and Aaron Boone still has a job. No, I'm not upset about this one bit. Good afternoon and welcome to the podcast. I'm Nick Drago. Today on the show, we're going to ignore MLB Playoffs. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to talk about it, of course. We got to talk about the NFL. NHL's right around the corner. NBA's right around the corner. What's going on with Kyrie? Stick with us, friends, because sports starts now.
Hey, shoots and scores a rocket slammer, and the Penguins make it 2-1.
Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! Anything's possible. Anything's possible! Gives it to Jenkins for the championship. Oh my God! Stay alive! Oh my God! 30! No! 10!
And welcome to the Sports Podcast with me, your host, Nick Drago. For those of you that are new to the show, first off, welcome, hi, hello, doody, dotty-doo. We like to talk about all the sports news information from the previous week and give you some insight on the next week, month, year, etc. If you like what you hear, find me on Soundcloud, Twitter, YouTube, and the Facebook. Just type in sports with Nick Drago. Yeah, that's me. And you can also find me on SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube, and the Facebook. Did I say that? I don't even know. New dad life here. Still kind of crazy dealing with a baby who wakes you up at 4 in the morning. I love every second of it, friends. I really do. Did you guys have a good weekend? I had a pretty good weekend. We were at a wedding. My cousin got married, and that was fun. We actually had 2 days away from the baby. Got a lot of really good sleep, and it was fantastic. The flip side of that, though, is that now I'm home, back to normal. Actually, I have the day off tomorrow, so that'll be kind of nice. Woo! Indigenous Peoples Day! Yeehaw! All right. Let's talk sports, right? That's what we're here for. We're not here for fun. We're here for sports, which are fun, but not the reason we're here. If that made sense to you, by all means, explain it to your friends, your families, and your significant others. The MLB Playoffs have started with a bang. First off, so last time we were on the show, we announced we were here to run down who's going where in the playoffs. And beyond the Yankees Red Sox, so far I've been right. I really thought the Yankees were going to come out of that one, but Boston got the win there, 6-2, and Dodgers beat the Cardinals just barely, 3-1, and they're now playing the Giants. And we're going to quickly recap those series. Astros won Game 1 against the White Sox 6-1, and then they won Game 2 9-4. Today was Game 3. It's actually, is it bottom of the fourth right now? This game's just beginning. Hold on a second. Let's refresh this page just for a second, because I feel like this game is bottom of the fourth, 9-6 so far in favor of the White Sox after only 4 innings. Geez, 5 runs for the White Sox in the third. What a crazy game so far. So we'll double back on that score towards the end of the show just to see if we probably won't get to the whole thing, but just see if it changes at all. The Rays won Game 1 against the Red Sox 5-0, and then the Red Sox got their revenge the next night, tying it up at 14-6. And then Game 3 went to Boston as well today, 6-4. So now Boston has a 2-1 series lead. If they win again, when's their next game? I think it's tomorrow. If they win tomorrow, they boot the Rays out of the playoffs, and that would be a huge upset. Because by all means, the Rays look like the team to beat. Now, Boston did pretty well last season, but to see them upset the Rays like that is pretty crazy. All right, what's the next series? Is the Brewers and the Braves. So Brewers won Game 1, 2-1. Braves then went ahead and won Game 2, 3-0. Game 3 of this series is tomorrow. So we'll see how that one shakes out. It's a 1-1 series so far. And then Dodgers-Giants. Game 1 was on Friday with the Giants destroying the Dodgers 4-0. But Dodgers then tied up the series 9-2. The next day, and their Game 3 is also tomorrow. And I think of all the series, the Giants and the Dodgers has probably been the one that everybody is excited for. Max Fried, by the way, 9 Ks to help the Astros win Game 2. That's pretty darn good. But yeah, I'm really excited to see the rest of that series. You know, those two teams, the Giants and the Dodgers, they were only 1 game apart from each other in the standings. So you know it's going to be a good one. All right, let's take a look at the NFL. On Thursday, the Rams-Seahawks, Russell Wilson going down. This was an injury week, friends. This was a hardcore injury week. Russell Wilson, the first one to go down. Geno Smith stepping into the role. Geno Smith, being a Jets fan myself, nothing makes me happier to see Geno Smith succeed with another team. But Russell Wilson did not make it through the game. Matt Stafford, 365 yards and 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Stafford is looking like a stud with the Rams, and it just shows how bad the Lions have been all these years. Falcons get a win over the Jets. This was a close one, 27-20 in London town. Zach Wilson, 192 yards. Matt Ryan, 342 yards and 2 TDs. Good work for the Falcons. Patriots get a win over the Texans. This was a close one too. I'm surprised the Patriots defense left up this many points to the Texans, which are by far the worst. I would argue one of the worst teams in the league right now. I shouldn't say the worst. But Patriots win 25-22. Vikings, they get a win over the Lions 19-7. Eagles beating the Panthers 21-18. Take that, Panthers. Jalen Hurts, not so bad. 3 interceptions for Sam Darnold, so maybe the Sam Darnold love fest is finally over. I don't know. Saints get a win over the Washington football team, 33-21. Titans beat the Jaguars 37-19. So far, Urban Meyer still has a job. So for those of you not familiar with his situation, and it's a situation, all right. So last week they were in Ohio. Remember, Urban Meyer used to coach at Ohio State. After the game, the rest of the Jaguars team decided to go. We're all going home on the team bus. He decided to stay behind, see his grandkids, whatever. And then a bunch of pictures were taken of him at a bar with some random woman that is not his wife, and the players are not happy about this. He's completely lost control of the locker room, is basically what we're hearing from all the big media outlets. And there are real discussions right now, 5 games into his tenure with the Jaguars, about firing Urban Meyer. Now, granted, this game was closer than it appears on the scoreboard, and by closer, I mean not at all. The Titans absolutely destroyed the Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, 273 yards and 1 touchdown. Listen, the Jaguars have been bad for a long time. Getting a good quarterback is not going to change that. This team needs real long-term change and real stability. Say what you want about Urban Meyer. If you want to get rid of him, that's fine. Right? This team, though, it's just not stable. They've lost 20 straight games. Think about that. 20 straight losses for the Jaguars. Obviously, it's a streak they need to break, and it's a streak they're going to break at some point. But you can't expect one quarterback to step in and fix the entire franchise. Buccaneers got a win over the Dolphins. Oh my goodness. Tom Brady, 5 touchdowns, 411 yards. How old is this dude again? He is crushing it out there. Good work for Tom Brady. The Packers beat the Bengals in overtime, 25-22. Bengals missed 5 field goal opportunities. I'm pretty sure that's a record. Mason Crosby ends up being the one who kicks a field goal for the Packers to go ahead and win it. So they're now 4-1. 2 picks for Joe Burrow, who actually, did Joe Burrow get injured in this game? Did I read that right? He had some kind of throat contusion. Hold up one second here. I thought I pulled something like that up. Yeah, he's taken to the hospital with a possible throat contusion. So this didn't have any trouble speaking after the game. It doesn't say what happened. Just says that he was taken to the hospital. So we'll kind of see how that shakes out. I don't know what's out there for. All right. Moving on. Steelers beat the Broncos 27-19. Bears beat the Raiders. The Raiders started this season 3-0, and now here they sit at 3-2. Yikes. Justin Fields, also another player who got hurt. I told you, a lot of injuries this week. I did see a report about him being injured as well. Chargers beat the Browns 47-42. This is the first time in NFL history that a team has had over 500 yards of ball movement. All right, 500 yards of ball movement, 40 plus points, and still managed to lose. First time in NFL history. The Browns should have won that game. Chargers are now 4-1, and they look pretty darn good. Cowboys beat up on the Giants 44-20. Giants lose Barkley. They lose Saquon Barkley, their running back. They lose Daniel Jones, their quarterback. And they lose Kenny Golladay with a knee injury at halftime. That was their big pull-in this year. Their big free agent. So, here's that thing about the Browns here. 40 plus points, 500 yards, zero turnovers. That was the last part. 0 turnovers. Jeez. Sorry, I got distracted from the Giants. Yeah, Giants basically lose their entire offense right there. And they're already down to Shepard is out as well. We were just talking last week about how the Giants have a really good good group of offensive players between Barkley, between Shepard and Golladay and everybody else, and yeah, Daniel Jones stinks, but he's not the worst, right? And now here they are, just yikes. All right, Cardinals beating the 49ers 17-10. A low-scoring game, I gotta say, for low-scoring game for Kyler Murray, only 1 touchdown. But you know what? That just shows how good the 49ers defensive is, and believe me, it's good. Now, Chiefs and Bills. It looks like this game was delayed, and I don't have an answer here. We're going to look at this in a second. But right now, it's 24-13. Not a great start for the Chiefs. You know, they've lost a couple games here recently. Pat Mahomes, 131 yards and a touchdown, and Josh Allen, 219 yards and 2 touchdowns. Let's see if we can get some kind of reasoning why this game has been delayed. Yeah, we're checking out ESPN. Okay. I'm not seeing anything. It looks like there's a rain delay in Kansas City. Can we get I think we got a video here. Yeah, you could just see all that rain coming down. So I guess they're delaying it because of the rain. So it must be a lot for them to do that. Let's take a look at the standings now. So, Bills. Bills right now are ahead of the Chiefs, but it won't change their positioning at all, win or lose. So Bills are 3-1 right now. That'll probably change tonight. Patriots are 2-3, Dolphins 1-4, Jets 1-4. In the AFC West, you have the Chargers on top at 4-1. Broncos at 3-2, Raiders 3-2, and Chiefs at 2-2. Not the way I would have expected this to go this year, but good on the Chargers. AFC North has the Ravens at 3-1, Bengals at 3-2, Browns at 3-2, and the Steelers at 2-3. AFC South has the Titans at 3-2. The Colts are 1-3, Texans 1-4, and the Jaguars 0-5. So right now, if the playoffs were to start today, it'd be Bills, Chargers, Ravens, and Titans getting into the playoffs. It looks like I think it would be the Bills, probably the Bengals and the Broncos getting in, or the Bengals and the Browns. It would be one of those combinations getting into the playoffs. In the NFC, you have the Cowboys are 4-1. This is the NFC East. Washington's 2-3, Eagles 2-3, Giants are 1-4. In the West, it's the Cardinals on top at 5-0. The Rams are 4-1, Seahawks 2-3, and the 49ers at 2-3. This is a really tough division. Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, 49ers. You know, the Seahawks have been competitive for the last, 10 years or so. The Rams were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. The 49ers were in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. And I mean, when I say a couple of years ago, I mean recent enough that they should still be competitive now. And the Cardinals are on top at 5-0, and they look really good too. NFC North, you have the Packers at 4-1, Bears 3-2, Vikings 2-3, and the Lions. Oh, the lowly Lions at 0-5. And in the South, it's the Buccaneers at 4-1, Panthers 3-2, Saints 3-2, and the Falcons at 2-3. So Falcons finally getting their second win today against the Jets. If the playoffs started right now, it'd be Cowboys, Cardinals, Packers, and Buccaneers, with the Rams getting in one of the wild card spots and probably the Panthers getting the other wild card spot. And I think the Panthers are going to start. Yeah, it's one bad game from Sam Darnold, but they still have a whole season to play. I'm just not really feeling it from that team. Oh, Kyrie Irving. I know, this story just keeps getting crazier, right? I have a feeling we're going to see Kyrie play. I really do. I really think there's going to be exceptions to the rules, and we're going to see some manner of instance where Kyrie Irving plays basketball in Brooklyn this year. So Kyrie, of course, is refusing to play because they're forcing everybody to get the vaccine. He's basically the only NBA player. I'm kidding. There's a few. Not much. Only NBA player not to have the vaccine. And so because of that and the rules and laws in New York and other certain cities, he is not eligible to work or to show up to work in person. So Kyrie, though, was given an okay to be at the practice facility. So he's at least practicing with the team. Now, last week, the Nets were going on and on about, oh, he's going to play, everything's going to be fine, and blah, blah, blah. And now, hold on 1 second. We're having technical difficulties here. All right, we're going to lose the, I'm sorry, we're going to actually lose our screen for some reason with my phone, but that's okay. We'll just keep talking. We'll just talk. So for those of you watching the YouTube channel, I'm sorry, we just kind of lost that. This is the second week in a row we've had a technical difficulty right there. So weird. Steve Nash made a comment that they are recognizing that Kyrie probably will not be playing home games. They were in total denial up until today is the first time somebody in their office had said something. This is a wrong time for this in the show, but Jacksonville Jaguars 20 games losing streak. J.R. Smith. I love this. So J.R. Smith is set to compete in the North Carolina AT&T golf tournament. So Smith, his first collegiate tournament for North Carolina AT&T. What's around everything? J.R. Smith went back to college after finishing his NBA career and is playing at North Carolina A&T, ampersand, A&T. You know what I mean. And will actually play in his first collegiate tournament at the Phoenix Invitational, hosted by Elon. The tournament is at the Alamance Country Club golf course. That's pretty impressive. As a freshman, he walked onto the team. And you actually have to qualify for these. You can't just because he's J.R. Smith is not the reason he's playing in the tournament. You have to qualify to play. J.R. Smith's a good golfer. So it's kind of cool to see him, competing with collegiate golfers here, 35 years old, 36 years old. Good for him. I think at one point I saw a report that, he had wanted to play basketball, collegiate basketball, which would be just hilarious. But I mean, I guess it's possible if you skipped it, right? That's like LeBron, because LeBron went straight out of high school into the pros. What would you do if LeBron James retires from the NBA, but then decides to play 4 years at North Carolina or something? That would be amazing. So New York Rangers. Oh, we moved into hockey. All right, well, hockey season starts in a couple days. I'm super pumped. Sidney Crosby of my Pittsburgh Penguins. We don't know if he's going to play just yet in the opener, but he's getting close to coming back after surgery, so hopefully it won't be too many games without him, and they can start the season off right. The Rangers give an 8-year contract to Mika Zibanejad, who has basically been one of their top performing players. New York has a good young core. I think they could be a competitive team. Maybe not so much this year, but in the next year or two, they're going to be competitive, especially if one of those teams in the Metro is starting to show their age, that being the Capitals. Alex Ovechkin went down with an injury against the Philadelphia Flyers in preseason. Not something you want to see in preseason. Ovechkin has played. He's 36 years old. He has very rarely gotten injured over his career. And realistically, last season he missed 9 games. due to an injury. 9 games. That's more than his previous 10 seasons combined. The man is a monster out there and has not missed significant playing time. It actually makes me think, because him and Crosby are pretty close to each other as far as the number of points go, but Crosby has missed a significant amount more games than Ovechkin has. So I wonder how much more points he would have if he didn't miss over all those games. But forgetting about their rivalry right now, Ovechkin just signed a 5-year contract in the offseason. He's 164 goals away from Wayne Gretzky's record, and in 5 years, the amount of time this guy scores 30 to 50 points, 30 to 50 goals a season, he can absolutely catch up to that record. So a lot riding on him. Hopefully this injury is nothing and he shows up. He's ready to go opening day. One last thing, Islanders and Devils with a preseason game canceled due to a power outage. Look at this. The lights in the arena went out before the start of the game, couldn't be restored. How soon before the game did this happen? It doesn't really say. Could you imagine, like, you're sitting in the seats, maybe you're excited for the game, you want to see your team play each other, maybe it's your first game, Islanders and Devils. I know it's preseason, it doesn't really matter, but, like, I feel bad for the fans. Maybe they got something out of it, a ticket to a later game or something like that. I don't know. All right, friends, well, that is all the time we have for the show today. Special thanks, as usual, to my social media warriors, Mary Kay and Gary Albert, Johanna Drago. She's the content editor, logo designer, and set designer of this podcast. Gotta say a big thank you to her, of course. And all our other friends out there who like, watch, listen, and share. And hey, you can do the same, friends. Find me on SoundCloud, Twitter, YouTube, and the Facebook. Just type in Sports with Nick Drago. You'll find me after like 10 minutes of searching. No, I'm just kidding. Sports with Nick Drago. You'll find me immediately. And I think that's it. Like, comment, share, Google at me, schmoogle at me, and bloogle at me. And yeah, I'm gonna go. Good night, happy trails, and caw-caw!